I started listening to music through my father's left hand. He played piano, and he played bass in the piano. So I started understanding music through that movement. And all he could do was swing. He couldn't play straight eighth notes. So it was jazzy, gospel music. My father was a gunsmith part-time, and so we always had a shop full of every tool imaginable. So I would get in and take apart toys, and take them apart and see how everything fit together. And I had this same curiosity about music. So I would take it apart and figure out the drum parts, and figure out the keyboard parts and the melodies, and all those decisions that made up this thing that connected to me. I got into the Jazz Crusaders, and then kind of learned backwards through the 60s to like the kind of the cool Miles, and then older into bebop and Charlie Parker. And then my learning, as my ear got better, came back through up past that era into Miles Davis and these Bitches Brew and these abstract jammy kind of things. And then I ended up jamming one time with Phil Upchurch and Tom Brecklin. And through that association, I started playing at the Baked Potato a lot in Los Angeles. And so that was kind of like a format where people could hear me play. And with Phil, it was amazing because we would do blues, but in the same set, we would play giant steps, So it demanded a lot of my vocabulary on the instrument. At the same time, I got exposure, people started seeing me, and eventually got recommended to play with Wayne Shorter. And so I would say that would be, as major league as you can get. After that gig, that's when I really started taking writing seriously. You can't depend on someone else to create the perfect environment for you to express yourself, And I learned, from how meticulously he composed, that taking care of creating that, that environment for you to express yourself, became like really important to me. So that's when I really started writing. So one of the first features about this bass is the fact that it's select swamp ash, light swamp ash. The lighter the wood, the deeper and low frequency response you're going to have from an instrument. And the fact that it's bolt-on allows more of this light, non-dense wood to be in the body, to resonate low frequencies better. Having access to tools and having an imagination for how things work always made me look at the bass, and I try to encourage people to look at the bass as a user interface that you're not stuck with. If you understand how everything works, then you can manipulate it to your advantage, So what happened with me is at the time, I bought 2 DiMarzios and put them next to each other, cut off the earpieces, put them side by side. So I got a hole punch and some electrical tape, and I created the surface that matched the radius of the fingerboard and protected my fingers from getting cut. And so that was like the first prototype ramp. Eventually, when we did my first Ibanez design, we put a ramp between the 2 pickups completely. I was lucky to have this relationship with Bill Bartolini. We went through 40 prototypes to arrive at this pickup. First of all, it's radius to match the fingerboard, as we've done with the ramp. So string to string wise, the feel is that you can get the same distance, the same sense of attack. The other thing is that within the pickup itself, string-to-string balance is something that I worked really closely with Bill to get, because I want, as I get to the B string, that to be the loudest string. The other thing is that I work to adjust the location of the coil within the pickup. So as it gets to the G string, it's about 5 millimeters further away from the bridge, which warms up the G string a little bit. And then, I think the biggest feature that's come full circle for me is that recently we got to put a rosewood fingerboard, and it's the ultimate sound for me. you know. The other instruments that we did, the first trip through the Signature line was ebony. And ebony has a great tone, and we adjusted the electronics a little bit to get a little bit more brightness out of the woody sound that you got, and that was not a compromise for me. The 35 has same physical sensation as the GWB 1005. And we've upgraded this bass to an ebony fingerboard. And about 4 years ago, I was able to work with an engineer, and we really got to fine tune the EQ on it to be optimized for that pickup that's in there. And I'm really proud, you know, of the quality that's there, and obviously honored with the quality that's in this instrument as well. So both of them are greatly improved.